So now, gathering information for parts. So parts is the things that around the incident scene prior to or before, during or after the incident that may have influenced the material, pieces of plant, tools, equipments, or building that is related to the incidents or accidents. Alright. So in order to investigate the things that influence the accidents occurred. So sometimes it may requires qualified person to examine or compare to or to do a comprehensive testing by using sophisticated equipment to get the fact to relate the parts with the incidents. Alright. So the reports for the parts is required to be executed by expert witness, and this expert witness have to make a reports on their findings. So, and this reports is can be taken as the investigation evidence that will include in your report of accident investigation. Alright. So in terms of paper or documentation, so you are also required to take the evidence from the documentation of paper. So the example for documentation or paper that you are required to take, for example, the production schedule or process diagrams, check current working procedures, check qualification, check training record, check corrective action, check equipment maintenance records, and also maybe you can check the incident record from the previous one. Okay. And now, based on the findings, you got from the investigation, then the first one you have to isolate the essential contributory factors. So this how you can isolate the essential contributory factors. So based on this question, would the incident have happened if this particular factor was not present? So if the answer is yes, if the answer yes, it means that if the factors the factor is not contribute to the accident, then we can isolate. So we can say that this factor is not a contributory factors. If the answer is no, it means that it means that one is the element is the contributor factors So by answering this question, then you can differentiate which one is the contributory factors and which one is not a contributory factors. And based on the findings, you can also conclude or determine the causes of the incident or accident. So maybe the causes is due to the employee action or unsafe condition, unsafe act. Okay, maybe it is due to the environmental condition. This is the unsafe condition. So maybe it also due to the equipment condition, and this is also unsafe condition. Maybe a lack of good procedures, and maybe it is due to lack of training. So you can make or determine the causes based on this criteria. Alright. And then you can find the root causes of the accident by asking this question: what caused behavior? Why equipment was not fixed? Why condition was not corrected? So this is the things that you can find the root causes of the incidents. Let's say if the if the staff is not wearing PPE, so what is the root causes? Is the PPE is provided to them? Is the proper training is provided to them? Is the knowledge on safety and health is given to them, right? So in terms of the equipment, maybe you can say that why the equipment is broken. Is the equipment is properly maintained? Is the equipment is properly inspected? Is the equipment has a regular inspection? Maybe you can also look at the age of the equipment. So this is the things that you have to do. So maybe based on the previous accident or incident, or maybe based on the HIRAC, hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. So maybe there is things that need to be rectified or improved. So maybe you can check either the improvement suggested has been conducted or not. Or this is the things that you can do in order to find the root causes of the incidents. And after that, after you have already found the root causes, then you have to determine the best corrective action in order to improve or to make sure that the similar accidents cannot be occurred again in the future. So you have to give a recommendation for the corrective action, and the recommendation must be presented to the OSH committee, and the corrective action and recommendation must be included in the OSH management system in order to improve the existing system. Alright. So after you have doing all the elements that I have stated before, then you have to conclude all the findings in a report. So this investigation report must be clear enough. You should show all complete description and accurate information of events leading up to the accidents. And then you have to show a clear, complete, and correct identification of all causal factors. What is the causes of the incident in terms of the root causes and the underlying causes of the accident. And then you have to clearly mention about the recommendation. And then you have to come up with the supporting documentation, such as documentation for the documentation for the legal requirement. Maybe the history of the maintenance, and also we can look at the SOP or the manual of the machinery to help you to support your findings or recommendation. And then it must be a proper review and sign off by the designated person, such as SHO and also safety and health committee members. Alright. So now we look at the preventive and corrective action. Okay. So for the preventive and for the corrective and preventive action, so anything that related to incident and also management system non-conformances must be given a good preventive and corrective action. And then the recommendation for the preventive and corrective action must be communicated clearly to the individual involved in the accident or accidents, and also to the safety and health committee. So you have to know, you have to tell them clearly what is the recommendation for the preventive and corrective action. So all the recommendation and preventive and corrective action can be implemented. in the workplace, so that the similar incidents can be avoided in the future. So in terms of planning, for the corrective and preventive action, so in terms of planning, so you are required to have a procedure for handling investigation and also proposing preventive and corrective action. So you need to have a proper procedure, and the procedure must be communicated to all the parties involved in the management and also involved in the accidents. Okay. And then in terms of planning, you have to identify the authority for personal handling investigation and preventive and corrective action. So you should know who is the investigator and who should implement the corrective action that has been recommended or suggested. And then you should know in terms of planning who has the authority for initiating and confirming the completion of the corrective action. So after the investigator has given the preventive and corrective action, then this preventive and corrective action has been endorsed by the safety and health committee and also the employer. Then you need someone to verify either the recommendation has been implemented or not. So to make sure that all of the recommendation is take in a good manner. So these are the things that very important now. Even though you have conducted a very good reporting, you have done a very good recommendation. Since if there is no implementation, and there is no check and balance in the implementation, then the effort to avoid the recurrence of the similar incidents is actually cannot be performed in a good way. All right. So how to implement the corrective and preventive action? Okay, actually the corrective and preventive action recommendation actually must be based on the root causes lah. After you find the root causes, then the preventive and corrective action must be based on the root causes. And it is also must be appropriate to the problem at hand. And then the preventive and corrective action must be reviewed through risk assessment process to ensure that the correction will not introduce a new hazard. This is very important. If you are trying to give the solution, make sure that the solution will not produce any new hazard. So you have to go to the hierarchy of elimination, hierarchy of control. Hierarchy of control. The first one, what is the hierarchy of control? So the first one is elimination, and then substitution, and then lepas tu you have management control, and after that we have engineering control, and after that we have personal protective, the use of personal protective equipment. Okay, and then for the implementation for the corrective and preventive action also need a strict timetable. For the implementation, you should look at the progress of the implementing of the corrective and preventive. So you need to have a schedule and strict time. So you must follow the time frame given for you to implement the corrective action. And after that, you have to follow up the progress of the implementation of the preventive and the corrective action.